if you misunderstood that. Anyways, thanks so much for tuning in. That is the show for tonight. TPT at TPUSA.com. We will see you tomorrow, same time, same place. God bless America.
When the lights go down, the truth comes out.
Tucker, you are not the father. This has to be wrong!
After Hours with Alex Stein. No filter.
If it was okay to have anal sex.
No apologies.
You were talking about things that probably you shouldn't talk about.
The undisputed king of trolling.
I finally had my own show!
At one point, your ancestors owned slaves.
They tried to cancel us.
Deplatforming works.
She wants to kill babies, but she's still beautiful. Look at that booty on AOC. That's my favorite big booty Latina.
Politics, culture, hypocrisy.
They want them to have their penises cut off.
Uncensored and uncontrolled.
Cut your penis off, actually.
That's what I'm saying. They admit they want to cut people's penises off.
Late night just got dangerous. After Hours with your host, Alex Stein, starts right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to After Hours with Alex Stein, right here on Real America's Voice. Now, I know it's late at night, and if you've been looking at the internet at all, we have some breaking news, some huge news. Joe Kent, who is a very, very powerful cabinet member in Trump's administration, has just resigned because of his disagreement with the war in Iran. So we're going to play this news clip, and then I'll give you my opinion on it.
Breaking news from Washington, where a high-profile member of President Trump's national security team from Washington state has now resigned. We have just learned that Joe Kent, the director of the National Counterterrorism Center, gave his resignation to President Trump this morning over his handling of the Iran war. According to reporting from the Associated Press, Kent said that Iran posed, quote, no imminent threat to our nation. Kent is a former Green Beret who worked for the CIA.
Now, listen, I just want to say this. I am a talk show host, a comedian, a YouTuber. So if you don't want to believe me, you don't want to take my word for it, that's totally acceptable. I think that's incredibly valid. But Joe Kent is an 11-time veteran of our armed services. He lost his wife in Syria to ISIS, and he is the director of counterterrorism for the Trump administration. He is privy to much more knowledge and classified levels of information than we could even imagine. So the fact that he's coming out and saying that this war was started by the Israeli lobby is not anti-Semitic. I just want to say that because he is getting totally attacked online by all the people that are very pro-war and all the people that are Israel first. Now, like I always say on the show, I support Israel. They're one of our biggest allies. But we shouldn't have foreign lobbies twisting the arm of our president and manipulating him with lies in order to start wars that he campaigned against. Joe Kent is one of the most honorable members that Trump ever appointed. And the fact that he's getting attacked is absolutely disgusting. And I say this, that I don't know everything. Mark Levin doesn't know everything. Ben Shapiro doesn't know everything. Tucker Carlson doesn't know everything. But you know who knows a lot more than us? Joe Kent. So if his opinion is that this war was unnecessary and that Iran is not an imminent threat, I would tend to believe him. Because we are currently in an active war with Iran, and they can't even attack us on American soil now. There would be no time that they would be more motivated to attack American citizens than this moment right now. And guess what? They don't have the capability. So even if they had a nuclear warhead, which I don't want them to have, they wouldn't even have anything to attach it to send it to America. But you know who they can attack? They can attack Israel. You know who also has the most powerful lobby in Washington, D.C.? APAC, Israel's lobby. So I'm not trying to be anti-Semitic. What I'm trying to be is based in reality, that I love America and I love America's interests. And it doesn't benefit the American consumer by raising the price at the pump when everybody is struggling. Gas should be cheap. We all complained under Joe Biden when we went to war in Ukraine, fighting a proxy war against Russia, the gas prices went through the roof, and Biden had to take gas from our oil reserve just to try to mitigate the high increase of gas prices. And we all hated that. I hated it. You hated it. We were all universally against it. And now we are on the same path to the same price of gas that we had under Joe Biden. For what? To feel a little more protected? Well, guess what? What I'm worried about is a sleeper cell, a terrorist, some sort of illegal immigrant. But Donald Trump is not going after the illegal immigrants anymore. Why? Because these corporations need them to, hire them for their labor. And those corporations are very influential when it comes to lobbying our elected leaders. So the problem is we are being run not by citizens of America, but by multinational corporations and foreign lobbies that care more about their interests than the interests of the American people. But today is a good day because Joe Kent did one of the most honorable things by calling out this boondoggle and quagmire that we're currently engaged in Iran. And I support every man and woman in a military uniform. That is a fact. But what I don't support is unnecessary, unprovoked wars of choice that is causing potentially a global recession. And then who looks like the bad guy? We do. Because we go and start a war with Iran that, yes, we can crush them with our military, but they can kind of crush us through asymmetrical warfare by attacking all of our allies and closing the Strait of Hormuz, causing Europe, China, and all of these other world powers to go into a potential recession. So I'm not a globalist. I care about the 48 contiguous states, and then, Hawaii and Alaska. And then, you know what? I'll even say I care about Puerto Rico a little bit. That is what I care about. I don't care about these foreign countries that are 8,000 miles away. And if they scream death to America, well, now you think they mean it now? Yeah, they double mean it now. So we didn't free the regime and we didn't create an uprising. The only thing that we've done with this war is created more Iranian nationalism, more support for their regime in their own country. So I'm America first. If that's controversial, then maybe you don't want to watch The Pimp on a Blimp, and that's totally fine. But I'll say this, that with time, if this war continues to go on, and you and me are facing gas prices that are incredibly high, and we go to the grocery store, already the price of beef is up, the price of gas is up, the price of everything in restaurants is up. We have an affordability crisis in this country. And instead of attacking that, instead of having a war on affordability, we're having a war in Iran. And we're losing our military service members for what? For what? You tell me. For safety? Well, they can't even attack us right now. And even the UK said in the most recent negotiations that Iran offered a very favorable deal. And they said that they wouldn't enrich uranium. So I'm sick and tired of being lied to, and I'm sick and tired of people falling for more propaganda. To me, this feels like COVID 2.0. Wear your mask, get vaccinated, it's safe and effective. And saying you're starting a war and killing thousands of people to save the lives of thousands of people, to me seems very hypocritical. So Donald Trump can totally rally And what he needs to do is come to the negotiation table and end the war in Ukraine while simultaneously ending the war in Iran, and he will come out of this looking like a genius. But until he decides to do that, we are the ones that are going to have to pay the price. We are the ones that have to fill up our gas tanks. We are the ones that are financially struggling. So if you want to continue to financially struggle, then go ahead, support this war. That's fine. Or maybe you're super rich and it doesn't affect you. God bless you. I wish I was in that situation, but I'm not. I'm just an everyday, average American citizen that's in the middle class that really cares about the price of the goods that I buy. So let's just hope and pray that Joe Kent actually sends a message to the president that even though the polling suggests MAGA loves this war, that polling to me is very faulty. And the majority of the people that voted for Donald Trump voted on his campaign promises of being anti-war and not starting any new wars. So we are the ones that elected a guy because of his promises. And to me, it feels like those promises were broken. We'll see what happens, but all the attacks on Joe Kent are absolutely ridiculous. All right, guys, we got a great show. We have a awesome guest, the one, the only Carrie Boller, coming up next.
When it's breaking,
We're moving.
Breaking news.
breaking news.
News doesn't sleep. At Real America's Voice, we don't get to crash or lose focus. That's why we drink Soldier Fuel to stay ahead of the chaos, because we do this for you.
So good.
Soldier Fuel has no sugar, so no crash.
Now that's a game changer.
I'm fueled up now. Woo!
Used by the U.S. military every day. Now available to you.
This is huge.
Built by Patriots for Patriots.
Now it's time for you to do the Soldier Fuel Challenge. Order Soldier Fuel, film yourself cracking one open, and taking the Soldier Fuel Challenge. Upload your video at soldierfuel.com/challenge, and you'll be entered to win a free shipment of Soldier Fuel.
That's what I'm talking about.
Your video could also be featured on air. Just scan the QR code on your screen or go to soldierfuel.com/challenge to enter. Drink with the Rav Hosts drink, Soldier Fuel.
Let's go.
Through every storm, every moment of uncertainty,
Everybody needs to pray for Charlie Kirk right now.
Rav has stood strong.
We're not going to tolerate this stuff anymore.
Turn that anger into motivation to save this nation.
When we move together, there is power.
The cries of this widow will echo like a battle cry.
This is more than news. It's a movement.
This revolution of people taking their countries back.
A turning point. A chance to be part of something greater than yourself. Scan the QR code and stand with Rav. The story isn't over, and neither is your part in it. Step in, be counted, be heard. Together, we are Rav.
We will achieve American greatness. And we are just getting started.
It's Mama Love in northern Minnesota. You know, a collective voice is much louder than a single voice. Thanks, Rav, for giving us a place to chat and connect. See y'all in chat.
Hi, my name's Paul Foyer. I'm 404 in the Getter Chat. I love Rav for all the Getter, all the War Room Posse, and all of you guys. Love y'all. Bye.
My name is Phoebe, and I live in Florida. I love Real America's Voice. They truly speak for the people, and that's what real patriotism is all about.
Welcome back to After Hours with Alex Stein, right here on Real America's Voice. Now, I want to talk about a subject that is very controversial and is absolutely horrendous. This subject and topic is called Bakabazi, which is a cultural ritual done by people in Afghanistan and parts of Pakistan, where because the men are sexually frustrated, they actually pay boys to dance for them, and oftentimes they use them as an apprentice, and they do the most horrendous things to these kids. They have sex with them and they humiliate them. Oftentimes they'll find a boy that they think is, a little fruity tooty, and they rape them. I don't know how else to describe it. It's absolutely horrible. And you're like, Alex, why are you talking about this subject right now? Because, and I know you guys are going to freak out, but the New York Times wrote a piece about this, and this is a fact. You can fact check me if you don't believe me, that during our war in the Middle East, and in Afghanistan specifically, the United States military was directly ordered to not do anything about the Bakabazi practice if the men doing it were our allies. That's right. And there's numerous stories of our military servicemen saying how disgusted and upset they were when they would walk into an Afghani compound and see this ritual going on. But they were told directly that they cannot do anything about it because some of these people were our allies in the region. And it's just like the poppy fields that were all over Afghanistan that were the precursor to the heroin trade that is a multi-billion-dollar industry. That is the same poppy fields that our United States military was told to protect. So the idea that our military is perfect, I don't think that's true. Yes, the men and women in uniform are great, but sometimes the top-down leadership will tell our service members to do stuff that is very bad. And I know that you might be suffering from cognitive dissonance, and you know that there's people that can be in powerful situations and do bad stuff, but in your mind, you're going to defend the military no matter what, and we do defend the military. But my point is, our military is not perfect. And what's happening in Iran is not a perfect operation. Yes, a lot of Iranians are dead, but the economy is about to take a blow that we've not seen since 2008. And our military was actually told not to shut this down, this Bakabazi practice. I want to play a clip of it, and I'll let you know some more about it. Well, I don't even know what to say. That's disgusting. And guess what? They did some really disgusting things to that boy. So that's what's happening, guys. That is literally happening right here in Afghanistan and all over the Middle East. And our military servicemen were told to not stop it. And I think probably the best use for our military would be to actually go after pedophiles. But you can see that the Trump administration does not care about going after pedophiles because nobody's been arrested from the Epstein leaks. And you can call me a right-wing conspiracy theorist, but that video you just saw is not a conspiracy. And our military troops did not shut it down. Even when they confronted these people, they had to let it happen because of orders from higher ups. So that's the world we live in. And some people, they do it blatantly. Let's watch this next clip of it. Yeah, so you see a little boy, that's what he's doing, a little boy on the back of a motorcycle. hiding what's going on. Why would a boy have a hijab on pretending to be a girl? But this is part of a humiliation ritual. So Islam is not really compatible with the West. This would not be allowed to happen in the United States, but it does happen overseas. And it's just a harsh reality that we all need to understand, that the world that we live in is a dark place sometimes. And I hope that our military can refocus and we can go after the pedophiles in the Middle East that are abusing children, and not people that are saying, I'll come to the negotiation table and not enrich uranium. But no, we have to focus on taking out Iran because they are a threat to our allies in the region. Not a threat to us. They can't bomb America while we're in a war with them, but they could potentially bomb our allies. And so in that case, we have to go send our service members to go die in a war that really is a war of choice. We chose to do it. We weren't provoked. You're like, Alex, what do you mean? We've been fighting with them for 47 years. Well, Operation Midnight Hammer was one day of conflict for us. We dropped a bomb and we were done. Nobody would be critical if that was done again, if we could go just drop a bomb on Khamenei and it'd be done. But that's not what's happening. We're fighting an asymmetrical war with an opponent that is willing to blow themselves up in battle because they think they're going to get 72 virgins in their heaven. That's a tough opponent to beat. And yes, we can systematically kill them, I guess. I mean, that is, looks like that's what our objective is now, just cause as much destruction as possible. But in the meantime, they're going to continue to bomb our allies in the region, and they're going to continue to cause a global nightmare when it comes to our oil reserves, because 20% of our natural gas and oil comes through the Strait of Hormuz, and it's a 21-mile gap that can easily be attacked from the coast of Iran. Even Donald Trump said it would only take one terrorist with a big enough bomb or a big enough rocket launcher or a big enough weapon to attack the oil tankers that are used to give the world oil and provide energy. And guess what, guys? We're not going to be able to operate without energy. And once these foreign countries start to feel a recession, that will trickle to us. Even though we don't get very much oil from that area, a lot of our allies do, even some of our adversaries. And is that really the best strategy, is to start pissing off some of our adversaries? I don't know. I don't know if that's good. Because in reality, I don't want Iran to get a nuclear weapon. But North Korea has a nuclear weapon. China has nuclear weapons. Russia has nuclear weapons. So now you guys are just going to trust Vladimir Putin? And if you like going and stopping a regime that could potentially get a nuclear weapon, why aren't we attacking our adversaries that actually currently have one? That seems a little more logical, right? But no, we don't. We just let them have it and hope for the best. And really, that is probably the best strategy in life, is to hope for the best and try to be human beings and come to some sort of agreement that we're not going to kill each other. And I know you're going to say, well, they've been chanting death to America, death to Israel, that we're the big Satan. Sure, I'll give you all that. That's a fact. But their motivations are going to be much stronger now that we've attacked them than they were before we attacked them. So we've opened up Pandora's box, and I hope that I'm wrong. All right, guys. Actually, I think our guest is ready. I don't know if she can hear me. We have the great Carrie Boller. Carrie, longtime friend. Now, I've known Carrie since the pandemic. Carrie is such a great voice. She speaks out against all the nonsense. Carrie, how are you doing? Thank you so much for joining us.
I'm good. Is the sound okay? Can you hear me okay? Or
it sounds perfect. It sounds perfect. We're just honored to have you, Carrie, because it's ridiculous they kicked you off the Religious Liberties Council for basically speaking the truth. I mean, honestly, I don't even know how else to describe it. They call you anti-Semitic, but I think critiquing Israel's government is not anti-Semitic. So can you tell us, how has the backlash been? I know there's been a lot of coordinated attacks against you, which are ridiculous, but, you know, are you stronger from it? How do you feel after the fact?
I'm stronger than ever. I'm still standing, Alex. They tried to destroy me, but they're not going to succeed. So, yeah, it's been crazy. I never thought, I mean, think of this. I never imagined that I would be removed from a Religious Liberty Commission because of my religion. You can't make this up. You can't.
It's very ironic, Carrie.
Yeah.
It's very ironic. But, I think that you send a message, and that's even more important than just sitting there and kissing Seth Dillon's butt, about, how much I love Israel, because that guy is as cringe as they come. So I really respect you for holding him accountable. But, when it comes to that whole committee, shouldn't there be debate? Shouldn't there be argument in there? I mean, it seems like an echo chamber is not the stated intention of a committee, any sort of committee. So I guess, were you surprised that all this happened?
No, because actually when I first got appointed to this commission, they tried to kick me off from the very beginning. So this has been going on since August. Yeah, this has been going on. I got a call from the White House back in August from a woman at the White House, actually the same woman that wrote that email to me saying that I was removed. And she called me one day and said, "Hi, this is Mary Sproles calling from the White House. I'm asking you for your written resignation today." I literally thought it was a joke, Alex. I'm like, why would you be asking me to resign? I was just appointed to this commission. And she's like, well, it's just not working out. And I said, no, I'm not resigning.
Yeah, well, Carrie, you must feel very vindicated right now, seeing that Joe Kent has now called out and resigned, but called out the Israeli influence in our government, which is absolutely ridiculous. And I know that you were just on a podcast, Piers Morgan, talking about this. So how do we actually stop this? Because he seems like now he's being attacked. They're coming after him. They're calling him anti-Semitic and all of these things. Like, how do we, I guess, win the culture war back? Because it does seem like MAGA has been hijacked.
Yeah, I think it's been hijacked, and I think it's dead. And I think Trump killed it, unfortunately. I think more and more people are speaking out. I mean, look at Tucker, look at Megan, look at Candace, look at me, look at Marjorie Taylor Greene, look at Thomas Massey. Mm-hmm. And now, you see this incredible Catholic man, former Green Beret, who is now resigning. And I salute him. I think he is a man of courage and a man of integrity. And we need more people like that. So I'm calling on Tulsi Gabbard right now. If you're listening, Tulsi, I think you're next. I think you need to resign. Do the right thing. Have some integrity. Really, it's just a matter of time before people just stop voting for these clowns. I mean, this is really what it comes down to. If you are taking money from AIPAC, we will not vote for you. You will be run out of office. So that's my pledge. And moving forward, I'm only voting for candidates that don't take money from Israel.
Well, listen, you and I became friends during the pandemic. You're speaking out against a lot of these unnecessary COVID restrictions. And what I'm seeing now, it feels like COVID 2.0, but we're being influenced, obviously, by, Israel's lobby, but it's absolutely globalism. It's like the dictionary definition of globalism. We're starting a war because an ally thousands of miles away could potentially get hit. So I guess I'm a little frustrated because I don't think people can understand the propaganda. They don't realize that we're being run by globalists. And I think that we're just going to basically hand over the entire administration to AOC and Gavin Newsom, who's done a horrible job. So I don't know. I think I'm the same opinion of you. It seems like MAGA is on life support. And I think that this is done on purpose by these Israeli lobbyists because they actually care about globalism more. So they don't care if AOC is in or Donald Trump because they know that they're going to be able to buy and sell our politicians like toilet paper.
Yeah,
so
they hate America. They hate America. Let's just be honest. This foreign country the size of New Jersey literally hates America. And so they're paying our politicians. They're literally extorting our politicians to destroy our country. And you have Trump taking $230 million from Miriam Adelson, who Trump says, who do you love more, Miriam, Israel or America? I mean, that sums up his presidency right there. And Mark Levin, he is now saying Mark Levin is MAGA? This is insane. These are all never Trumpers.
He was a never Trumper. He literally was a never Trumper. And, I'm extra triggered now that you even bring up Miriam Adelson. She bought the Dallas Mavericks and then traded our best player, Luka Doncic, for a guy, Anthony Davis, who couldn't even play. He played like 14 games. So she has systematically destroyed the Dallas Mavericks. And the conspiracy behind that is that she wants to move the team to Vegas. So I wouldn't be surprised. She buys and sells politicians. I wouldn't be surprised if she wasn't trying to manipulate the NBA to try to get a team in Vegas. So I'm sick of Miriam Adelson, and really it doesn't even have to do with the fact that she's obsessed with Israel, even though I think that's a lot of her motivation. I'm saying she's just not a good person, it feels like sometimes.
Yeah, but you know
Miriam,
what, too? But you know what, Alex? It's very important. I need to bring it up. It's this heretical theology, these Christian Zionists like Pete Hegseth. He is cheering on this third temple being rebuilt. This is a theological heresy. And these are the people running our government. These are the people advising the president. Yeah, go to war. Go to war for Israel because they're God's chosen people. I mean, these are the lies that we've been told, that this is some biblical prophecy fulfillment coming to fruition in 1948. So those who bless it will be blessed. And if, you're Lindsey Graham, you're telling people, and if you don't, you'll be cursed. God will pull the plug on you if you don't support Bibi's bombs on Gaza. That's the lie that has been told, Alex, and it needs to be reiterated. This is a theological heresy, and it's Christian Zionism that's pushing it.
I can't debate you on that. I mean, I agree with you. But this is one thing I will say, Carrie. So my grandfather was Jewish, but I was actually baptized. I was raised a Christian. My mom was a big Christian. I would say that most Jewish people are probably secular and pretty laid back. It's just the people like Mark Levin and Ben Shapiro that I think almost give Judaism a bad name, because I'm sure you're in California. I'm saying, Jewish people, they're really the most laid back and cool just in your everyday life, except for the people that are like Ben Shapiro and Mark Levin. So, do you feel the same way when it comes to that situation?
Yeah, it's sort of like BLM all over again. If you don't post a black square, you're a racist. Like, if you don't support a political ideology, you're a Jew hater. That is absurd. It is insane. And I reject it. I had 4 Jewish Americans that I recommended to come testify at that hearing. One of them was a Jewish rabbi. They didn't want to hear from him because he's not the right type of Jew. He doesn't worship Israel. In fact, he says he's been fighting against Zionism for 40 years. So this whole you're an anti-Semite because I don't worship this foreign country the size of New Jersey is absolutely crazy. And I reject it. And I think everyday average Americans reject it too. So I'm hopeful. I am really hopeful that this is the turning point for our country, and people are not going to vote for anyone taking money from AIPAC. You're out. You're out. You're getting out.
I hope you're right, Carrie. I'm sick of these freaking lobbyists influencing elections. Well, guys, if you haven't seen Carrie, she's been a sensation. But before you go, everybody's seen you. I see you all over my Twitter feed now. How can people find you and support you?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, you can follow me on X at Carrie Prejean1 or Instagram, Carrie Prejean Boller. And I like to debate Mark Levin and Larry Loomer. So that'll be fun if you guys join me in that.
I know Laura Loomer is the worst. She has me blocked. Laura Loomer, because she wouldn't call it that Israeli pedophile that got arrested in Las Vegas. So she blocked me because I ratioed her. Laura Loomer is the person that creates the most anti-Semitism in the world. Forget about the 84% civilian casualty rate in Gaza. She has done more to demonize the Jewish population than anybody in the world. So I guess, end on that. What do you want to say to Larry Loomer, the worst freaking
I think she's completely irrelevant. She's totally irrelevant. Nobody takes her serious.
Well, Carrie, no, I had to cut you off. She is a little relevant. How does she always talk to Trump? Why is Trump talking to Mark Levin, writing love letters to Mark Levin and listening to Laura Loomer? It makes me feel like I'm going insane.
That is true. Before I even was removed, she was like, she's going to get removed and I'm the one talking to the White House and my White House people. Like, you're right. She does have a lot of power, and that's concerning. I mean, is that who the president is being advised from? Is this what MAGA has become, Laura Loomer?
And she's so mentally ill, she can't even own a gun because allegedly she was, hospitalized for a 5150. So Donald Trump is literally getting his marching orders, and maybe that's a little too egregious, but he's getting his direction from a woman that is too mentally ill to own a gun, allegedly. So, Carrie, thank you for joining us. Everybody go support Carrie. She's getting attacked unfairly. And if you guys want to see a great podcast, she was just on Tucker Carlson. I really encourage everybody to go watch that interview. All right, guys, coming up next, we're going to talk about more crazy stuff happening right here in America and across the globe.
The world doesn't slow down because you're tired. And weakness gets exposed. That's why the best take Go Pills. Born for military performance, built for high-pressure days when your brain has to move faster than the chaos. This is neurotransmitter support, helping your mind fire clean signals so you can process data fast, decide fast, and stay locked in when it matters. Packed with clinically supported ingredients designed to boost cognitive performance so you stay sharp under pressure. The most badass military in the world uses this kind of energy every day. Now you can too. From training to eliminate America's enemies to smoke-checking terrorists, Go Pills keep the mission fueled. Real world tested by high-level tactical communities. Now available to you. Greenlight the beast inside. Pop a Go Pill. Scan the QR code or go to buygopills.com and receive 15% off your entire order.
Hi, my name is Tracy L. from Arizona. I don't stink around in the kitchen when it comes to the news. I watch Real America's Voice, which always serves accurate and reliable updates that are on point with their amazing hosts. So don't find yourself in a pickle by tuning into the fake news. Stick with Real America's Voice.
Hi, this is Chris from Colorful Colorado. I'm drawbridge in the Getter Chat. I trust no one for my news except Real America's Voice. So if anyone asks, I was never here.
Howdy, Rab fams. It's Warbringer here. Love you all. Rab is the only place to get the truth, and this is the only way we're going to be able to restore our republic. Love you all. See you in the chat. Howdy, Rab fams. It's Warbringer here. Love you all. Rab is the only place to get the truth, and this is the only way we're going to be able to restore our republic. Love you all. See you in the chat.
To After Hours on Real America's Voice.
Thank you guys for joining us right here on Real America's Voice. You're watching After Hours with Alex Stein. And the world is crazy. And, you know, the American taxpayers are now on the hook for even more fraud. That's right. Nick Shirley recently did an investigation where there are a lot of healthcare scammers that are driving cyber trucks, you know, brand new Teslas, driving BMWs, driving Mercedes, by running what look like that are allegedly fake hospice companies. And the reason why this is extra egregious, because going into hospice is the last few moments of your life, and it's a terrible situation. I remember when my mom was in palliative care, it was incredibly sad. And so to run a scam basically pretending to help people during their most vulnerable time is a special kind of evil. So I want to shout out Nick Shirley for exposing this. Let's play the clip.
We know that hospice is a very lucrative business, so I joined a business partner right here. His name's Darren, and we're here outside the Hospice Consultants, and we would like to start our own hospice today. We're just two young men who want to become millionaires here inside the United States, and it seems like the only way to do it nowadays is by committing fraud, so we're going to go in and see if we can start our own hospice. Are you guys the Hospice Consultants?
Yes.
Oh, can we talk to you guys?
About?
I want to open my hospice.
You want to open a hospice?
Yeah.
Okay, what was your name?
My name's Nick, but I want to open up a hospice.
I understand, but we don't take care of that.
Can I get some information?
Do you want a number?
Yeah, or give me a flyer or something. And this is the Hospice Consultant.
Yes. No, only hospice.
All right, so they say they're open right now. They won't let us into the lobby. This is no way to conduct business. We are two entrepreneurs trying to open up our own hospice.
Soaked to the bone right now.
We were denied service by the potential fraudsters, and as we were leaving, one of the fraudsters started to leave from the back in a $200,000 Maybach.
And we have a Mercedes-Benz driving up. Where can we open a hospice at? We'd like to open up a hospice. Get a Maybach just like you.
So that's an abandoned hotel, or not abandoned anymore. Now they're running hospice out of it. But it was a former hotel where somehow, ironically enough, all of these employees, or the majority of them, are driving luxury vehicles. And you think I'm kidding, but watch Nick Shirley run off this guy in a $180,000 car.
Word got out that I was inside of the plaza, and all the fraudsters started hopping in their cars and leaving the scene.
Excuse me. Let's see if they can just answer our questions really quick. Hello, can we ask you a quick question? Driving out in a brand new M8. They can't get out that easy. How can I get an M8 as well? Should I open up a hospice? Driving out in a brand new M8 BMW M8 competition. Listen to this thing. This is the sound of hospice money.
Shout out to Nick Shirley for exposing this subsidized healthcare fraud that is rampant, not only in California, but in every state in the United States of America. So just remember this. You and I have to pay our taxes so that other people can scam the government and drive luxury cars. We should all be pissed off. I mean, it doesn't really get much more egregious than that. And especially to take advantage of people by pretending to run a shady hospice business when on paper it sounds good. You're helping people in their last moments of their life pass away comfortably. But really what they're doing is they're killing the American taxpayer. That's what's really happening. All right, guys, you know, right here on this show, we love African Americans. Love them. Not even kidding. Not even saying that sarcastically. I'm 1/16 black. And there's something about going to a black church that is always more fun than going to any other church, because black pastors, to me, are always the most entertaining. They're a little bit like myself, too. They call balls and strikes. And here's a pastor saying what I think all pastors should say. Never let your husband leave the house horny. Let's play it.
Round in him. Don't hold back coochie. Don't hold back. Uh-oh. Don't hold back. My church mother said, when you get married, let that man shoot all his bullets. Let that joker don't have a nail round in him. Don't never send your man out the house hungry and horny. I'm trying to help you, Miracle, so when you get one. Oh, I'm trying to help you. Don't never send your man out the house horny or hungry. Or somebody else will feed him, and somebody else will give him some. Don't hold back coochie.
Now, that's some of the best advice I've ever heard in my life. And for you, the people that are going to be offended by that, in the Book of Solomon, there's all kinds of sexual stuff. And if you're married to somebody, you should be getting freaky deaky. So nothing about that is controversial. Everything about it is true. And then when you leave home hungry, too, you can't operate. So we want a wife that's going to be able to cook, clean, and be a freak in the sheets. You know what I mean? That's all we're asking for. It's pretty simple. And I love that pastor for actually being honest. Now, you guys know right now, it is a great time of the year. The weather's not too hot, but for some reason it's a little cold right now. But it's spring break. Everybody that's in school is having a week off right now. They get to go travel. But you know what that means? That means that when spring break happens, crazy things happen as well. Now, I want to show this clip. This is actually, I believe, at the Houston Rodeo, that a bunch of people are having a grand old time. Let's play it. Now, I want to say Don Lemon blamed this on white supremacy, and I think he's right. So you guys need to be less of a white supremacist and be more supportive of a community that will snatch off your weave if you're in a minor argument. I love it, but this is kind of an indication of the country that we live in, where the mob rules, and if the mob sets its sight on you, it will eat you alive. So I really encourage you guys to stay very safe during the spring break. A lot of people do not have the normal structure like school right now, and we're dealing with impulsive young people that are going to large events, drinking alcohol, smoking dope, and having a good old time. Because even though people were getting brutally assaulted, the crowd loved it. And you know what? I'm going to be honest, I loved it too. I hope nobody got seriously hurt, but everybody likes watching a boxing match, especially an unsanctioned, unregulated one that's out in the street. So this is the America in which we live in, the greatest country on earth. I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. Sure as heck wouldn't want to be in Tehran, Iran right now getting hit by bombs. I know that. So the likelihood of you getting assaulted at a group event like that, it might be a little high in America, but so what? You know what I mean? Every single day above ground is potentially dangerous, and we shouldn't be such snowflakes. We got to be tough. We got to have fun. We got to have some gratitude. That's all I'm saying. We need to have a little bit of gratitude. And that was right near me in Houston, Texas. So hopefully they do it again in Dallas. I'm going to be in the center of it, getting punched in the face, posting it on social media so that I can get millions of views. That's what it's all about at the end of the day. All right, guys, coming up next, we dive deep into the consumers getting totally screwed by this war.
The world doesn't slow down because you're tired. And weakness gets exposed. That's why the best take Go Pills. Born for military performance, built for high-pressure days when your brain has to move faster than the chaos. This is neurotransmitter support, helping your mind fire clean signals so you can process data fast, decide fast, and stay locked in when it matters. Packed with clinically supported ingredients designed to boost cognitive performance so you stay sharp under pressure. The most badass military in the world uses this kind of energy every day. Now you can too. From training to eliminate America's enemies to smoke-checking terrorists, Go Pills keep the mission fueled. Real world tested by high-level tactical communities. Now available to you. Greenlight the beast inside. Pop a Go Pill. Scan the QR code or go to buygopills.com and receive 15% off your entire order.
Hi, my name is Tracy L. from Arizona. I don't stink around in the kitchen when it comes to the news. I watch Real America's Voice, which always serves accurate and reliable updates that are on point with their amazing hosts. So don't find yourself in a pickle by tuning into the fake news. Stick with Real America's Voice.
Hi, this is Chris from Colorful Colorado. I'm drawbridge in the Getter Chat. I trust no one for my news except Real America's Voice. So if anyone asks, I was never here.
Howdy, Rad fams. It's Warbringer here. Love you all. Rab is the only place to get the truth, and this is the only way we're going to be able to restore our republic. Love you all. See you in the chat. Howdy, Rad fams. It's Warbringer here. Love you all. Rab is the only place to get the truth, and this is the only way we're going to be able to restore our republic. Love you all. See you in the chat.
guys so much for joining us this evening. It's a crazy day, and I know that we've talked about a lot of stuff on this show, and I know some people are going to get triggered in the chat. I hope you guys are not triggered. I love you guys. Even if you're a boomer, I still love you the same. But this is why I'm frustrated with the war, and I'm not trying to keep on harping on it, but it's because the elites are out of touch with the normal working class Americans. And I would say that this clip is one of the biggest examples of that. Now, this is on CNBC, and we're talking to, this is Kevin Hassett, who is Trump's economic advisor. And he says something that is incredibly egregious to me. He says, well, the economy is not going to get affected. The only thing that's going to get affected by it is the consumer. And it makes me just sick to my stomach because I'm the consumer. You're the consumer. The multinational corporations that benefit or, get hurt by this, those are the people that should be taking the blunt of all of this recession and global economic disaster, not the consumer. We're the ones that have to buy everything. We're the ones that have a limited fund of money. But these multinational corporations, they don't. And it seems to me that our administration is prioritizing their interests over the American people's. And I think that this clip is a perfect example. And you got to watch and listen closely. So don't miss what he says in the middle of the clip. Let's play it.
The U.S. economy is fundamentally sound, and that if it were to be extended, it wouldn't really disrupt the U.S. economy very much at all. It would hurt consumers, and we'd have to think about, if that continued, what we would have to do about that. But that's really the last of our concerns right now, because we're very confident that this thing is going ahead of schedule.
Hurting the consumer is the last thing that you're worried about? Why would you want to hurt us? Why do we have to go through pain? That's all I'm asking, is that why do I have to be the one that has to go through the painful process of struggling? But the economy is going to be fine because it's going to be artificially inflated by these corporations. So I get it that you like numbers on paper more than you like human beings. But we need to create a movement that is about humanity and that is not about conglomerates. And I think that clip is a huge indication of where the administration's motivations are. And I hope I'm wrong. But when they just blatantly tell you how they feel, that they don't care if the consumers get hurt, how else am I supposed to interpret that? That doesn't mean that I don't support Trump. Doesn't mean that I don't support America. But when I hear Trump's economic advisor saying that it doesn't affect him if the consumers are hurt, when I'm the consumer, you're the consumer, what do you want from me? What am I supposed to do? They're just blatantly telling us right to our face that they don't care about us. They don't care the fact that we're financially struggling. But I'm the bad guy for replaying his clip and just listening and regurgitating. It's ridiculous. And that doesn't mean that I don't love Trump, but it just means that I'm an umpire that's calling balls and strikes, and that we need to reprioritize American citizens over multinational corporations. And I want to play this next clip because this clip is how we all feel, or at least how I feel. And I'll just play it and then we'll talk about it.
Every day, every night, all the time.
That's what I need. I need a pack of cigarettes right now. Too bad they cost $20 now, and I can't even afford one. But yes, we all need a metaphorical cigarette right now. You know what? Let's just not be black-pilled, though. I know I've been a negative Nancy this show, and I don't look at life through a half-empty glass perspective. I look at life through a half-full glass. But at the same exact time, I can't ignore the warning signs of a great country going down a road that we should not be going down. That's all I'm saying. And I'm really not trying to, convince you of my position. I'm just trying to motivate you to ask questions instead of just blindly believing whatever someone tells you. You don't have to agree with me, but at least question the reality in which we live in, because oftentimes, more than not, we are being fed a bunch of lies. Why do they lie to us? because it's the best way to control us. And why do they control us? Because that's the government's job at the end of the day, is to control the American people, whether it's through propaganda, whether it's through pandemics, whether it's through financial hardships. They want us to be reliant on the government, because in that case, the government will have full control. So I'm calling on you that we need to be civilly disobedient. That doesn't mean we need to break the law, but that means that we need to go out and speak unapologetically our opinion, even if it isn't the most popular opinion. That's all I'm saying. Because once I started living unapologetically myself, my life got a lot better. And I think yours will too, if you do the same. But hey, don't take my word for it. You look into it. You do the research. Just like CNN told you not to do the research during COVID, I'm telling you the opposite. Do the research, come up with your own conclusion. All right, guys. Primetime 99, we got a brand new Soldier Fuel Challenge. If you take a picture or a video of you drinking Soldier Fuel and you send it to us, the best video is going to win some free Soldier Fuel. Doesn't get easier than that. Watch the promo.
When it's breaking,
we're moving.
Breaking news. Breaking news.
News doesn't sleep. At Real America's Voice, we don't get to crash or lose focus. That's why we drink Soldier Fuel, to stay ahead of the chaos, because we do this for you.
So good.
Soldier Fuel has no sugar, so no crash.
Now that's a game changer.
I'm fueled up now. Woo!
Used by the U.S. military every day. Now available to you.
This is huge.
Built by Patriots for Patriots.
Now it's time for you to do the Soldier Fuel Challenge. Order Soldier Fuel, film yourself cracking one open, and taking the Soldier Fuel Challenge. Upload your video at soldierfuel.com/challenge, and you'll be entered to win a free shipment of Soldier Fuel.
That's what I'm talking about.
Your video could also be featured on air. Just scan the QR code on your screen or go to soldierfuel.com/challenge to enter. Drink what the RAV hosts drink. Soldier Fuel.
Let's go.
I'm drinking it right now. It's delicious. It's only got 5 calories, 0 sugar. I love this stuff. I love it. That is some good stuff right there. And part of the proceeds actually go to help our military veterans. So you're supporting a good cause. Not like that Monster Energy drink that is basically a subversive satanic company that only wants to poison your children. But I'm just saying that's allegedly. I don't want to get in trouble legally. All right. So, guys, we're having one of the biggest gatherings of American patriots less than 2 weeks away on March 25th. If you guys are going to be in the DFW area, I encourage everybody, come out to CPAC, come hang out with the Pimp on a Blimp, come hang out with the entire RAV crew. You don't want to miss it. Watch the promo.
Get ready, America. March 25th through 28th. CPAC USA 2026 takes over the Lone Star State. And Real America's Voice brings you wall-to-wall coverage. Live shows from the convention floor, exclusive interviews, powerful panels, live music, entertainment, and more. All from the RAV stage. Hear from RAV's own Steve Bannon.
The only way we don't have victory if we surrender. And we're not going to retreat. We're not going to surrender. We're not going to quit.
Eric Bowling.
Real leadership listens without lecturing. It respects people enough to talk to them, not down to them.
And Jack Posobiec live.
Freedom is a responsibility that we must uphold every single day of our lives.
Plus Dr. G and others.
We always came together because we know what we're fighting for.
CPAC USA 2026, only on Real America's Voice. Presented by Birch Gold Group and Patriot Mobile.
Well, folks, I'll see you at CPAC, and I just want to say thank you so much for joining this evening. And remember, don't just blindly believe what Ben Shapiro tells you, or Tucker Carlson, or what I tell you. Do your own research and do not succumb to the propaganda, because that is what we are in, a propaganda war for your attention and for this country. And I beg you, please continue watching this show and continue asking the hard questions that the elites don't want to answer. Thank you for watching. See you tomorrow night.
Real America's Voice is